Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
On January 22nd, 2006, the world of basketball witnessed something extraordinary. It was an otherwise ordinary evening at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, with fans expecting another routine game between the Lakers and the Toronto Raptors. Yet, what unfolded was far from ordinary. That night, Kobe Bryant would achieve something that defied logic, statistics, and the very fabric of the sport. He scored 81 points in a single game. As the crowd cheered, gasped, and roared with every basket, Kobe entered a state of focus that few athletes have ever reached. His movements were fluid, calculated, and unstoppable, as if he had tapped into a realm of performance that others could only dream of. Each shot seemed effortless, every possession a chance to make history. By the time the final buzzer sounded, Kobe had cemented his name among the greatest legends of basketball. The magnitude of this achievement cannot be overstated. Scoring 81 points in an NBA game is not just rare, it is almost mythical. For decades, the record of 100 points set by Wilt Chamberlain in 1962 had stood as an untouchable milestone. Yet, Kobe's performance that night came closer than anyone ever had, showcasing a level of individual brilliance that left fans, players, and analysts questioning reality itself. This video dives deep into that unforgettable night, how it happened, why it mattered, and what it means for the legacy of one of basketball's most iconic figures. Through Kobe's 81-point masterpiece, we will explore the limits of human potential, the essence of greatness, and how one man inspired millions by showing us what is possible when preparation meets opportunity. To understand the gravity of Kobe Bryant's 81-point game, we must first delve into the context of the Lakers' 2005 to 2006 season. The team was in a transitional phase, struggling to find its footing after the breakup of the Kobe-Shaq duo that had brought 3 consecutive championships to Los Angeles. Without Shaquille O'Neal's dominant presence in the paint, the burden of leadership and scoring fell squarely on Kobe's shoulders. The season was a tumultuous one. The Lakers were far from the championship contenders they had been just a few years earlier. Role players like Lamar Odom and Smush Parker were finding their place, while head coach Phil Jackson returned to the team to rebuild a new dynasty. Despite Jackson's famed triangle offense, the team lacked the cohesion and firepower needed to consistently dominate opponents. Night after night, it became clear that if the Lakers were going to win, Kobe would have to do most of the heavy lifting. By January 2006, Kobe was already putting up astronomical numbers, leading the league in scoring and dazzling fans with his unmatched offensive repertoire. He had scored 62 points in just 3 quarters against the Dallas Mavericks a month earlier, a performance that left jaws dropping. Yet, despite these heroics, the Lakers hovered around the middle of the Western Conference standings, fighting to secure a playoff spot. For Kobe, every game presented a challenge to elevate a struggling team and prove that he could thrive without Shaq. Critics doubted whether he could lead the Lakers back to glory, and the pressure to perform was immense. But for Kobe, pressure was fuel. Every ounce of doubt, every skeptical comment, only sharpened his resolve. He was determined to show the world that he was not just an elite player, but a transcendent one, capable of redefining greatness on his own terms. The stage was set for something extraordinary. When the Toronto Raptors came to town on January 22, 2006, they were a subpar team with a porous defense, hardly a marquee matchup. Little did they know, they were about to face a Kobe Bryant who was more determined than ever to push the boundaries of what was possible in basketball. The night of January 22, 2006, began like any other game. The Toronto Raptors entered the Staples Center with a mediocre record and little fanfare. For the Lakers, it was another opportunity to secure a much-needed win in a challenging season. Yet, as the game unfolded, it became clear that this was no ordinary night. And Kobe Bryant was no ordinary player. The first quarter was solid but unremarkable. Kobe started with a steady rhythm, contributing to the team's offense while allowing his teammates to get involved. The Raptors, led by Chris Bosh and Jalen Rose, took advantage of the Lakers' shaky defense, building an early lead. By the end of the first half, the Raptors were up by 14 points, and the Lakers looked disjointed. Kobe had scored 26 points by halftime, a strong showing, but nothing out of the ordinary for the league's leading scorer. Then came the third quarter, and with it, a shift in energy that would transform the game. Kobe entered a state of focus so intense that it was almost otherworldly. Shot after shot, he began to dismantle the Raptors' defense with a relentless assault of jumpers, three-pointers, drives to the basket, and free throws. It wasn't just scoring, it was dominance. Every defender they threw at him was rendered powerless as Kobe carved through the opposition with surgical precision. The Staples Center erupted with each basket. Fans began to sense that they were witnessing history, and the atmosphere became electric. Kobe scored 27 points in the third quarter alone, cutting the Raptors' lead and putting the Lakers back in control. By this point, he was no longer just carrying his team. He was single-handedly winning the game. In the fourth quarter, Kobe ascended to another level. With his teammates deferring to him on nearly every possession, he continued his offensive onslaught. Each basket felt more improbable than the last, yet they kept falling. The Raptors had no answers. By the time the game entered its final minutes, Kobe was sitting at 77 points. A three-pointer, with just seconds remaining, brought his total to 81, a number that seemed unfathomable in the modern NBA. When the buzzer sounded, the Lakers had won 122-104, thanks almost entirely to Kobe's heroics. He had scored 66% of his team's points, shooting 28 of 46 from the field, 7 of 13 from three, and 18 of 20 from the free throw line. The numbers were staggering, but they only told part of the story. What stood out was the way Kobe had dominated, with a combination of skill, determination, and sheer willpower that left everyone, players, coaches, and fans alike, speechless. Kobe's 81-point performance wasn't just a display of scoring prowess. It was an exhibition of mental fortitude and competitive fire. As the crowd gave him a standing ovation, the reality of what had just happened began to sink in. This wasn't just a game. It was a moment that would be etched into basketball history forever. The aftermath of Kobe Bryant's 81-point game was nothing short of explosive. As the final buzzer echoed through the Staples Center, fans erupted in a mixture of disbelief and euphoria. Those in attendance knew they had just witnessed history, something so rare, so extraordinary, that it was almost impossible to process in real time. On the court, Kobe's teammates were awestruck. Many of them, including Lamar Odom and Smush Parker, admitted later that they had stopped trying to comprehend what was happening and simply enjoyed the show. Coach Phil Jackson, a man who had seen countless remarkable performances during his storied career, called it one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in basketball. The Raptors, meanwhile, were left shell-shocked. Despite throwing multiple defenders at Kobe, nothing seemed to work. Jalen Rose, who often found himself on the wrong end of Kobe's brilliance that night, later joked about the experience. But in the moment, there was little humor to be found. It was a performance that transcended defense, strategy, and even the idea of competition itself. Off the court, the reaction was immediate and global. Highlights of the game dominated sports news cycles, and Kobe's performance became the subject of endless debate. How could one player take over a game so completely? Where did this rank among the greatest individual performances in NBA history? For many, the game redefined what was possible in modern basketball. Social media, still in its infancy at the time, buzzed with discussion, while traditional media outlets compared Kobe's feat to Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game in 1962. The difference, as many pointed out, was context. Kobe's 81 points came in a highly competitive era, against professional athletes with advanced training and preparation. This wasn't a historical anomaly. It was an act of pure greatness. For Kobe, however, the reaction was just another reminder of what he already knew. "It's just hard work," he told reporters after the game. To him, this performance wasn't about shocking the world. It was about showing what happens when preparation, opportunity, and an unrelenting will to win collide. Kobe Bryant's 81-point game wasn't just a singular moment of brilliance. It was a defining chapter in his illustrious career and a benchmark that reshaped expectations in the NBA. While Kobe was already considered one of the league's top players, this performance elevated him into an entirely new realm, cementing his place among the greatest of all time. For Kobe, this game was more than a statistical outlier. It was a reflection of his relentless work ethic and competitive spirit. The performance embodied everything he stood for: precision, determination, and an unwavering belief in his own abilities. In the weeks following the game, analysts and players alike marveled at how Kobe had taken control of every aspect of the contest. His ability to dominate not only through athleticism, but also through an unmatched mental focus, became a cornerstone of the Mamba Mentality. The game also reshaped how the league and its fans viewed individual performances. While team success had always been the gold standard in evaluating greatness, Kobe's 81 points served as a reminder that individual brilliance could transcend the team context. His scoring masterpiece wasn't about selfish play. It was about doing whatever it took to win. The Lakers needed every one of those 81 points to secure the victory, and Kobe delivered. In the broader context of NBA history, Kobe's performance reignited conversations about Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. While Wilt's achievement remains the highest-scoring game in history, many began to argue that Kobe's 81 points were even more impressive. Chamberlain's game occurred in a vastly different era, against less rigorous competition and under unique circumstances. Kobe, on the other hand, achieved his feat in the modern NBA, against elite athletes and sophisticated defensive schemes. The ripple effects of Kobe's 81-point game extended beyond the court. It inspired a new generation of players to push their own limits, with many citing that performance as a turning point in their basketball aspirations. Stars like Devin Booker and Damian Lillard, who later recorded their own 70-plus point games, frequently referenced Kobe as both a role model and a motivator. His ability to reach an almost mythical level of performance became a standard of excellence for aspiring players around the world. For the NBA as a league, the game underscored the power of individual star performances in driving fan engagement. Highlights from the 81-point game were replayed endlessly, drawing in viewers who might not have otherwise watched basketball. Kobe's achievement became a cultural phenomenon, further solidifying the league's global appeal. Ultimately, the 81-point game was not just about scoring. It was about legacy. Kobe had proven once again that he was not only a great player, but also a symbol of what is possible through hard work, passion, and unrelenting drive. That night in 2006 became a part of the legend of Kobe Bryant, a moment that continues to inspire and awe basketball fans and players to this day. Kobe Bryant's 81-point performance was more than an extraordinary display of basketball skill. It was a manifestation of his personal philosophy, known as the Mamba Mentality. For Kobe, basketball was not just a game. It was a test of character, a platform to push the limits of physical and mental endurance, and a canvas to display the rewards of relentless preparation. The Mamba Mentality was rooted in a simple but powerful principle: outwork everyone. Kobe's work ethic was legendary, even among his peers. He would show up to the gym at 4 a.m., practice for hours, and then demand more from himself when the formal training sessions began. His pursuit of greatness was obsessive, but it was also methodical. Every aspect of his game, from footwork to shooting mechanics, was refined with meticulous care. What made the Mamba Mentality unique, however, was its focus on mental resilience. Kobe believed that greatness wasn't just about physical skill, but about the mindset to overcome obstacles and maintain focus under pressure. During his 81-point game, this mentality was on full display. Despite being down at halftime and facing defensive adjustments from the Raptors, Kobe's determination never wavered. He adapted, stayed composed, and continued to dominate. Kobe often spoke about how the Mamba mentality extended beyond basketball. For him, it was a way of life, applicable to anyone striving for excellence in their chosen field. Whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or a student, Kobe's philosophy was clear. The most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. The 81-point game was a vivid illustration of this mindset. It wasn't just a record-breaking performance. It was a testament to what can be achieved when preparation meets unwavering self-belief. Kobe Bryant's 81-point game is more than just a historical footnote. It is a moment that continues to resonate deeply in the world of sports and beyond. It stands as a testament to the heights that can be achieved through unparalleled preparation, unrelenting determination, and an unwavering belief in one's abilities. That night in January 2006 was not just about basketball. It was about pushing boundaries and challenging the notion of what is possible. Kobe's performance wasn't just an individual achievement. It was a story of inspiration that transcends the sport. His 81 points serve as a reminder that greatness is not confined to natural talent, but is cultivated through hard work and an unbreakable mindset. In the years following the game, Kobe's legacy only grew. Fans who were lucky enough to witness that performance, either in person or through broadcasts, often recount it as one of the most unforgettable moments in sports history. For the younger generation of players and fans, it became a source of motivation. A vivid example of what can be accomplished even today, the 81-point game symbolizes something greater than basketball. It represents the idea that limits are meant to be challenged and that the pursuit of excellence is a journey worth taking, no matter how daunting the odds may seem. Kobe himself reflected on the game with humility, often deflecting praise to emphasize the lessons of hard work and resilience. As the video concludes, one thing is clear. Kobe Bryant's 81-point game is not just a memory. It is a legacy. It serves as an eternal reminder that true greatness is achieved not by chance, but by choice. In Kobe's own words, "Great things come from hard work and purrs."